Exciting, exciting, exciting. Yeah. Word up. Okay, cool. Today is the day. Stoked. Finally releasing the 2019 template. Just made a pretty major update to my studio template and made a ton of new sounds and a ton of new racks for all of the people who use my studio template. So this is a free update to people who use my existing studio template, and it's free for all the Producer Dojo members. But if you don't own the template yet, this is a pretty good time to do it because we're offering a bundle with the Moog sounds I just made. Yeah, just go to rackfriday.com. All right, word up. Without much further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so we'll start with the drums. The drums, well, there's a bunch of stuff on the drum. We'll get into the racks later, but yeah, we'll start with the drums. So there's a drum kit here with a bunch of new 128s that I made when I made these sample libraries, and I've gotten rid of the old system where there was like, I used to use like a MIDI pitch plugin to choose samples, because a 128, there's 128 samples going up the key, or well, 128 or more samples going up the keys, and then you use the MIDI key to select which sample plays, right? But instead of doing that, I have switched to doing it on the push, right? Where you go select the drum rack device, and then you can adjust the input-output routing. So on the screen, it's here, and then on the push, it's like the second one on the drum rack. You can adjust the input-output routing, and then there's a transpose knob right there. So you can change your sample with a knob or with the arrow keys, right? So these drum racks are all full of samples. If I go to this drum rack, this is the kick, and then I can change kicks by snare, hat, shaker, more snares. But yeah, so you can switch up the drum kits really easily. This one, I call it the Fountain of Glitch. It's got some really good sounds in it. You may recall on Halloween I made a bunch of balloon noises by contact miking balloons. Well, I made these long recordings of weird ass balloon noises, and when you here, I'll put the gate to playback mode to through, and then I'll play it. But yeah, so when you take a long recording, you can put the sampler on slice mode, and you get what is like a 128, but without even having to chop it up. You just put a long sample in there and put it on slice, and then you can still use the transpose here. Craziness. But yeah, really fun sounds. Really fun sounds. So there's all these balloon noises. There's a bunch of modular sounds I made on my iPad. Oh, actually, you know what? I should play the track before I mess all the sounds up. Here's the track. Yeah. Yeah. What's new? Yeah, so that's what it sounds like before I break everything. All right, so yeah, so anyway, these iPad bloops. There's a lot. Those are from the Moog Model 15 app. There's a bunch of these R2D2 noises, and each one of these is like a huge menu of samples, right? And this is these ones are from there's this old school like computer educational thing called Speak and Spell. It's like a plastic computer from the 80s where that would teach your kids to read, and it had this really iconic like voice processor chip that would like, you know, talk to your kids or whatever in robot voice, but it's become very coveted among producers. So I got a Eurorack module that has that chip in it, and then recorded a lot of it, and it sounds like this. Actually, here, I'll put on playthrough.
Control. Electrician. Control.
Craziness, right? So there's a bunch of those. There's a bunch of other modular noises. These are all, you know, these are all menus. All different kinds of glitches. These ones are from this Altoids tin that is hooked up to contact mics and shit. It's really, really dope. And I ran it through some delays and reverbs and other modular shit. Really wonky. And then this one is more of the Moog Model 15 app. But yeah, so really, really fun. This Sprinkles one, these are all 128 style things. There's melodic chops. These make noise glitches. These are like gold medal glitches. Tons of good sounds. So those are all for like sequencing rhythmically, you know, but still keeping them as part of the drum group, right? So yeah, so there's 3 drum racks full of stuff. Lots of samples there. There's the, of course, ever popular Moog subs. Shit bangs. That's this sub I use in like all my tracks, so that's there. There's this Reese that's just right, so fun. And then there's a bunch of these melody channels that are pretty fun too. So I made all these Moog multi-samples with my old little fatty that I sold, but before I sold it, I sampled all of the notes, like, and made these multi-samples so that I chopped up all the notes in the MPC and spread them out on the keyboard, and then you can play polyphonically what is normally a monophonic synth. So monophonic means one voice, polyphonic means many voices. Think about making a chord for a choir. If you're going to have a choir sing a chord, you need 3 people to sing a chord, right? Because one person, one voice. Same thing with synthesizers. That's why polyphonic synths are such a big deal, because you have to have like 16 voices, so you have to have 16 filters, 16 LFOs, 16 envelopes, etc. That's really hard and expensive to achieve in an analog synth. But if you sample an analog synth, you can get those really expensive sounds like that you get out of the $8,000 like Moog 1 synthesizer would be 8 Moog oscillators in a chord. Well, guess what? We can do that because I sampled my little fatty, and if you just go to the filter tab and turn up the voices, you can have 24 voices and just be like thick chords, and it's not just one sample repitched. Like there's lots of samples. You can see there's like 26 samples per keyboard on one of these, so they're not getting pitch bend too far, and it's all like lush, man. Analog. Oh, love it, love it. Yeah, there's this pluck sound too. Oh wait, here, let's go. Really juicy, because the beautiful thing about analog is like all of that instability multiplies when you have lots of notes, right? So that like kind of wavery, nice analog quality really starts to show itself when you either process the sounds or have like polyphony. It starts to sound more analog-y. There's this cool lead too. I love this. Yeah, really juicy sound. Yeah, lots of fun. But yeah, they just cut through the mix, man, because they're analog and they're juicy. The Moog, there's something about the sound of a Moog, man. There's just nothing else that sounds quite like a Moog. Yeah, and then there's a bunch of sound effects in here, which are pretty cool. These are like 128s. It crashes. I made a 128 with my Virus of all the coolest little sound effects and stuff in the Virus. It's a really juicy one. Let's put that on. Lots of good sounds in there. This one's all risers and reverses and stuff. For when you need to let people know that the drop is coming. And then there's this one of splashes. So these are things that go at the beginning of the phrase. Yeah, all pretty useful too. And then there's a 128 of various like vocal chops and shit.
Raving till I'm on.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, lots of fun stuff in there. Lots of samples. I think it's like 4 gigs of samples. I'm actually having trouble zipping the files. They're so big. I had to get a special new zipping application to do it. But yeah, so there's tons of sounds in there, but there's also loads of racks. Okay, so I made everything organized in all these like collections here, but there's all these new racks here, and I'll show you, like, there's a bunch, but I'll show you some of the really good ones. This one, the no pains zone, is really good. There's this zone of pain in a lot of things. Well, I'll show you the Duct Reverb first, and I'll show you that. Okay, so this Duct Reverb, basically, Ableton, I love Ableton, don't love the reverb. The Ableton Reverb is not the best reverb, but the Echo has another reverb in it, and I've actually started using the reverb from Echo as kind of my main reverb in Ableton. So to make it just reverb and no delay, you turn the decay time all the way down, the feedback all the way down, and then go all the way wet, and then it just becomes a reverb, right? And one of the coolest things ever is the reverb has a built-in sidechain. And if you go into the character section, turn ducking on, you can sidechain the reverb to the dry signal so that the dry signal knocks the reverb out of the way. So I'll show you what that sounds like. Right? Now I'll put the ducking on. Here are the reverbs that goes like sound, reverb, and they kind of take turns. Here, I'll turn the decay up. But yeah, so then you can compress the reverb, high pass, low pass, you can offset it. Some pitchy shit, or make it all tight. And because it's sidechained, it's never gonna drown out the dry signal. Very cool. Like, see how the thing's just breathing now. What? What is even happening? It's melting. It's melting. Yeah, that's what's up. So that's the Duct Reverb. I have a feeling I'm going to be using that rack in like every single track. All right, so let's open this thing up. Well, I'm going to open up the filter because I need to show you how there's this no pain zone. This thing removes grating frequencies. So I'm going to try and make it really loud. Right, and then check this out. So this is a multi-band compressor that's just compressing this mid-band, okay? It's just compressing this mid-band. And then it takes away the really painful part. So you can squash only the pain zone between 3 and 4K. So you set these two cutoffs so it isolates the pain zone between 3 and 4K, and then this just squashes the pain zone. See, it doesn't hurt anymore. So it's the no pain rack. Oh, how useful is that? Yeah, I made like the perfect high pass redux too. Like, check this out. Oh, it sounds so juicy. And it works on everything. Redux is often hard to make it work. Here, I'll try it on the drums. Oh, wait. Not the right group. This is the right group. Like, isn't that just like the perfect bit crusher effect? Fuck, it's satisfying. Yeah, those things are really kind of annoying to make them obey your will. They can be kind of problematic. But yeah, the no pain rack is really, really nice. There's some utility racks. There's the drop rack, which is really good for, it like brings down the width and the highs and lows when you're coming into a drop, so it makes it feel like the drop opens up. So you're like, oh, boom, you know, really nice. There's a mastering rack on here too. There's all kinds of stuff. There's a, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, the tight delay is a good one to show. I'll show you that on the drums. This tight delay is just one of these nice one knob effect racks. Check this out. And it's it does like a kind of melting effect. Right? So when you need a little wash of melting, and then check this shit out. This is the new 2019 scratch rack with the echo effect. So I rebuilt Moldover's famous scratch rack with the Ableton echo effect, and it just has such a nice sound to it. Like, check out how buttery these scratches are. Juicy, juicy. But yeah, updated scratch rack. Oh shit. But yeah, and it's it has a little bit less highs and lows than the Moldover one, and it actually kind of fits in the mix a little better. I mean, I'll still probably use the Moldover one a lot too, but I really dig the new scratch rack. Another thing to know about is this wide noise, okay? This is doing a lot of the work on the drums right now. I'll play the drums by themselves. Right, and what this is just the erosion preset, but not everybody knows how to set up the erosion preset to get the erosion device to get this, so I just macro the important parameters. But basically, if you put on wide noise and kind of keep it pretty high, and then just like open up the width of this curve, it gives you extra highs. Like, see that? Like, it almost sounds like a shaker. But yeah, that shit on drums, goes a long way. But yeah, lots of fun with those racks. So yes, there's a bunch more other good stuff too. Yeah, there's an update to the racks, and then I set it up so that you just add the library folder to your places to install it. So you just go to like here, drag your new 2018 library folder into your Ableton places. Doop to doop. It's just gonna load in there, and then once it's in there, then you can just browse inside of here and start loading patches or start loading drum racks. And I put all the 128s, I broke them all out here for you. So all these presets will work because they're inside the 2019 studio template folder. So you just drag that into your places. And then if you want to install something to your library later, that's up to you. But if you just drag it into places, you can start loading stuff right away. Okay, cool. So there's a couple other things, like, you know, I'm using doing some gain staging on the drum group and the bass group both with the drum bus. I started doing that recently. It's really nice for getting things to sit at the level that you want them to without over compressing them. But yeah, you can definitely overdo it with these guys too. And then yeah, I think you're gonna enjoy like the reverbs and the delays. I kind of like made some nice settings there, but I just love the way this Duct Reverb thing sounds. love the way that Duct Reverb thing sounds. All right, cool. So yeah, have a lot of fun with the template, everybody, and thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me. Love ya. Peace.